Hey guys, it's Kaz here, aka Cats and Camera. This is my second part of my Raven Cycle talk. I just had to record this quick intro because I didn't realise how long my talk had got on for. So I've split my Raven Cycle talk into two parts. If you want to watch the first part, I'll leave the link below. Obviously, I'd recommend that because it's going to go straight into where that finished. I hope you enjoy. And also, right, let's get on to Ronan. When I went into the first book, I knew that there was a gay character. I didn't know who it was, and I presume that there was probably some sort of relationship or something to show that he's gay, I guess. So when I read the first book, I thought that the relationship, and I thought in my head, I was like, yeah, it's definitely Ronan. But then I was like, but surely they're not just going to bring somebody random in. Surely it's going to be someone from the group. So maybe him and Noah get together. Did anybody else have that thought? I would love to know if I'm the only one that thought that, or if somebody else thought after reading the first one, if they knew that there was obviously some sort of gay relationship. Did anybody else think that it was going to be between Ronan and Noah and then trying to figure out how that would happen because one's a dead ghost and one's an alive boy? Because that was something that I thought was going to happen. Which kind of almost isn't so weird because Noah did kiss Blue, so that happened. But yeah. And also, in this book, when they started becoming more friendly with each other, I was like, yeah, it seems like that's the way it's going to go. Obviously, first here we had Kavinsky. There's definitely some sort of tension there. But then, of course, we get Ronan having feelings for Adam, and then Adam maybe, but then also definitely precipitating him a bit. So I was glad that it was Adam, actually. Not just because it would have been weird if it was between a ghost dead boy and an alive boy, but also it shows that bisexuality or pansexual or whatever he wants to label himself or not label himself as, but it also shows that that clearly exists, or fluidity in sexual preference. And I really enjoyed that because that's something that happens in real life that you don't really see a lot. You see in books it's either you're gay, you're straight, or you're bisexual. Not very often in books, but one of those. But it seems like it was more of a fluid thing. Adam didn't put a label on himself. Ronan, I don't think he ever put a label on himself, but I would say he's probably gay. But I really enjoyed the fact that it wasn't a big massive deal. It wasn't like the other people in the group found out and they were like, oh wow, that's so weird. And it wasn't made a big issue in here. Obviously we got some really cute moments in this book and in the last book, but it wasn't like the other relationship with Gansey and Blue. It wasn't made a really big deal. It was really back burner, back focus. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that they didn't make it something bigger than it had to be. So a few things I want to talk about. I've probably missed out so much that I wanted to say, but I'm just rambling now and I don't know what's going on. But so I've got a few kind of things that I wish would have happened, or I want to know more about, or I would like to have happened. So first off, I mentioned it earlier, Lumineer, those triplets, I really want to know what they're all about, or I really would have loved it if there was something more about them in the book, because I think they only appear in this last one, so you don't really get much about them. But you even get more of Henry's mum, and she, I think, only appears in this one, or maybe a little bit before on the phone to Ronan's brother. But you see more of her emotions, more of her reasons behind stuff, but you don't really see much about Lumineer at all. So it's such a weird concept, these three, and they all go by the same name, so that whole thing. So I definitely would have liked it if we knew more about them. I don't know if we will later on, because apparently Ronan's meant to be getting his own series, so potentially there'd be something in there about them, but that's one of the things I would have loved to have known more about. If you guys feel the same, then comment that. Another thing, I mentioned this earlier again, Noah. I just felt, I really would have liked it if he kind of either was part of the gang properly at the end or had a proper send-off. Did he completely go when Gansey was brought back? I'm not sure what happened there. And of course throughout the series I would have loved to see more of him towards the end, but I'd also like to know what's happening now. Did he properly die? Is he at peace? Has he gone? Is he still there? Is he with Persephone? I love Persephone. I didn't mention that in the character bits, but she is such a great character and I was so sad when she died. But that's another thing that I'd like to know about. Persephone, the thing she was talking to Adam when Adam was learning about all of his magical caves watery stuff, and she was on about scrying or going in somewhere, and then she said, oh yeah, when I came back people thought I was weird as well. So I would have definitely liked to know more about her backstory and where she went. Was she a bit more normal before then and she came back and then she was a bit more spacey? So yeah, I definitely would love to have known more about Persephone, or maybe in the future know more about her if there's something that happens before these books that Maggie writes about her. I don't know. Another thing is just a random thing that's not really part of the story or anything, but I really hope that Adam goes to university not too far away, because I'm not even sure if him and Ronan became a proper couple or didn't, but I don't want Ronan to just be on his own, just dreaming up things, because the other three, obviously Henry, Gansey and Blue, are all going on a road trip around America, so I would definitely hope, or at least in my headcanon, think that Adam's going to either really close to university and stay in where he is, or at least go into one close so he can come home at the weekend, because that would just be so sad if Ronan's just left on his farm just dreaming stuff up and with nobody around, because he's definitely a person that needs people around him. So right, Blue's kiss curse, what's going on there? Has she still got it now Gansey's been brought back to life? Does it not count because he was dead and came back? Because it wasn't really specified, but I guess because it was something that the psychics all learnt about, that's why it wasn't so specific. You will kiss your true love and he will die. Does that mean once? Because they never kiss in the final sort of chapters. So I don't know, what do you guys think about that? Has anybody else got thoughts on the curse? Whether it was lifted, whether it was just Gansey was going to die anyway and the kiss made it happen, so some sort of crazy timeline sort of thing about that, I don't know. But yeah, I would love to have known a bit more on that. Another thing is the three sleepers. There was one that needed to be woken, one that needed to not be awake, and the other one was just kind of left. And a lot of people presume that the one that was just kind of left, even in the books, the third that wasn't really specified whether to wake them or not, was Gwendolyn. But I'm not too sure. I feel like, I've also read on Goodreads people's opinions that the sleepers were Neve and Artemis and somebody else, that sort of thing. But I think the sleeper that they had to awake was Gwendolyn, because she was going mad, bless her, and I loved her as well. She was so weird and mad, but always singing. But I feel like she was one they had to wake because she was in there. She shouldn't have really been left in there that long. I feel like obviously the sleeper that they weren't meant to wake was the demon. And I feel like the third one is actually Glendower himself, because they didn't say anything about him. It was kind of like, oh, the third one, whatever. But obviously he was dead. He wasn't, maybe he was sleeping originally and something went wrong, or maybe something went wrong in the sleeping process. But I feel like maybe he's the one that the psychics didn't really have an impression on whether to wake or not. So what do you guys think? Do you guys feel like Glendower was actually the third sleeper that they didn't really have any information on? Or do you feel like, I say like it was Neve and Artemis and that group? Or do you think that Glendower was still the one that they had to wake, the demon, the one that they're not, and then Gwendolyn, the one that they didn't have anything about? So what are your guys' thoughts on that? Because I only thought about this recently, kind of after I read the whole the whole series, and then a few days later I was thinking about it randomly, and I thought, hey, maybe that's why the psychics didn't have an impression on the third one. Maybe the third one was Glendower, and that's why they didn't say whether he needed to wake or needed to stay asleep. I don't know. I just recorded loads of this video and then it wasn't recorded. And I've been rambling for so long I don't even know what I've said and what I haven't said. But I think where my camera shut off, I was about to talk about the end. And all the way through this series, it was really well paced, everything, but I feel like the end, it wasn't a disappointment, definitely not. I really enjoyed it, but I was kind of left wanting more, which sometimes I suppose is a good thing, but I feel like the end was wrapped up way too quickly. Now, I really enjoyed the proper end bit where Henry, Gansey and Blue were going to go on the road trip, and Ronan's given them the car that he dreamt that hasn't got the engine in. I loved that Adam went to his parents' house and kind of got that whole thing out of the way for his own mind, for his own sanity, not necessarily for them, but for himself. And obviously Ronan's back at his place. I loved all that, but I feel like the bit from when Gansey was brought back from being dead, obviously, to there, it just felt like there needed to be more information there. Like, what did Cape's water do to him? Because they said that you could never fully bring a human back to life. So what was different? What wasn't so human about him? Was it just the fact that he could feel this deja vu and that he was in the past, present and future all the time? Was it that? Was there more to it? I would have liked to hear a bit more than that, because everything was it just felt like it had wrapped up way too quickly. And obviously I'm glad they didn't tie up every single loose end, because sometimes books overly do that and you know every single thing, and it's kind of nice to have a bit of a mystery. But I definitely feel like I would have enjoyed another few chapters, another 50, 100 pages. Maybe that's just me wanting too much, but I definitely feel like they needed to say something there. I've been talking about this for ages and I'm sure I've just been rambling and nobody wants to watch a video this long, but I also know that this is not in order, I'm just holding them. But hopefully other people have got opinions, have got answers, have got more questions, and I would love to hear them in the boxes below, in the comments below. I don't really get many comments on my videos, but I would love this one to be something that people can reply to other people's comments and actually talk about the series. This whole video is a rambling mess, but hopefully people can put their opinions across more concisely in the comments below, and we can all talk about it. If anyone's got anything they want to say to other people or to me, or any thoughts or opinions, I would love to hear them. So definitely put them in the comments, or if you've got an answer for any of the random questions I've thrown in throughout this whole video, then you could definitely put them in there. If you've got thoughts on some of the things I've talked about, whether it's the three sleepers, whether you thought that Noah and Ronan were going to be a thing, whether you think that there should have been a bit more at the end, anything like that, I would love to hear it. So place that in the comments below. And yeah, also, who else is looking forward to Ronan's series? If you'd like to see me do more of these sort of weird rambling videos, hopefully in the future I'll actually put pen to paper and decide more of a concise way of blocking this out. That's what I'd wanted to do: characters, plot, motivation, but everything's just muddled up everywhere. But if you think that will be a cool idea, then give this video a like. That's the end, so bye.